Good morning, seniors. It is January the 5th, and I hope you are ready to come back and start the semester off strong. Like I said in class on our first, meeting day, was that we are going to spend a considerable amount of time this quarter working on the persuasive paper. And that will start today and will kind of work its way through tomorrow and Friday as well. So let's take a look at what we are doing today, and I'll start by sharing our screen. So if you go to Google Classroom and you go to the January 5th, you will see here the possible persuasive topics. I also gave a little bit of information about what we're doing today. So what we are looking at is what you would want to write your persuasive paper on. And you have almost complete free reign in what you would like to choose. Okay. I know that in the past, if people give you like the topic and you have to write about this topic, it becomes kind of difficult at times, especially if it's not something you care about. In persuasion, we talk about one of the key elements of persuasion is conviction. And conviction is when you really believe in something, and that hopefully carries across into your paper. Now, if I were to give you a topic and say, here, write this, and it wasn't something that you had no connection to, no personal investment in, it would be awful hard to write about it, and maybe that conviction wouldn't come across. So we are allowing you kind of some free reign, and you have the ability to really go out and explore some of the topics that are meaningful to you and pick one that you feel really comfortable about and strongly about. Now, that said, we do have some guidelines, and we do have some guardrails that we want to keep up. We do want to make sure that it is appropriate to be writing about. And if you are really, really, really stuck, we can help you. Okay, we can help you either come up with a topic, or we'll just give you one if that's what you choose. So what we're going to do today in class is we're going to start talking about some of the different topics that are out there that might be of interest to you. We're going to do some different work on getting kind of some, just a big, broad scope of what some of those topics out there are. There are, like I said, some guardrails, some things to think about that we will not be doing. This is a short list. I do reserve the right to say, I don't know if that's going to work for you. I do want to say in advance that anytime I do say this is probably not a good topic for you, it's going to be because it's probably not something that's going to be easily researched, or it's going to be difficult to write instead of what your position is. Because really, I don't really care what your position is as long as you can state it, defend it, and then give your, kind of what would you do to solve it or address it. So one of the first things that we are not going to do as a topic is abortion. And again, I know that many of you have feelings about that on one side or the other, and I'm totally okay with that. But the problem with abortion as a writing topic is because that it is, first off, very emotional. It is intensely personal. And it's something that hits so many of us. Current statistics say right now that 1 in 4 women, at least once in their life, will have an abortion. And that impacts so many people, both the people that are pursuing an abortion, or those that are fighting against it, and it just feels like it's everywhere around them and people they know. It is a rather difficult topic to talk about, and it really strikes up a lot of emotions. And sometimes that's really hard to contain when you're writing. At the same time, when you're looking at your sources, they are also going to have a lot of that same emotion, that same passion. And it's going to be hard to find really objective sources that really focus on some middle of the road, objective information. And so it really becomes difficult for you to pursue this and to be successful at it. Again, your position on that is one way or the other. It doesn't really, matter to me, as long as you hold that belief and you believe in it for valid reasons. But for the assignment, we're not going to do that because it is, like I said, going to be difficult for you to do that in a way that you'll be successful. The second topic, or group of topics maybe, is legalizing abortion, legalizing marijuana, lowering the drinking age, or those kinds of things where you're looking to change policy and bring things down a little bit. Now, I know that a lot of states, Illinois, just a few miles away, has legalized marijuana. Indiana has talked about it. Kentucky has talked about it. I know a lot of states have done it. That's really not, I know that it's a topic that is current out there. I think the thing to think about with this as a writing assignment is that it is very difficult for a person to say, hey, let's lower the drinking age, and you give all these legit reasons, and they could be very legit reasons, but it's very hard for a person to, 16, 18 years old, to say we should lower the drinking age to 18 or whatever without it coming across as something rather self-serving. Marijuana. How would you write about, hey, we got to legalize marijuana, we got to legalize weed, we got to make it more available to people, without you coming across as, I'm only doing it because I want to smoke it. It really is difficult to put the audience in the right frame of mind. And therefore, I think that, again, it makes this a topic that is difficult to write about. Again, your personal opinion, you have that, and that's great, as long as it's valid and you hold it for appropriate reasons. But as a writing assignment, this sets up a barrier, and it makes your paper a little bit more difficult. And I want you to be successful. So let's avoid that. Any of those types of papers where it might come across as self-serving. The final type of paper that we want to avoid are those that are based solely on religion. The definition of religion is faith. It starts with faith, and faith is believing in something without having proof. Like, you just feel it, you just know it, right? But there's no validity to it. There's no proof to it. There's no backing of that. It is faith. And it is very difficult then in an objective, persuasive writing assignment to say, hey, here's the thing, and this is why, if other people can't look at it objectively or look at it in a concrete fashion. So now, personally, if you have a position on a topic that stems from your religious belief, that's great, as long as there's a way to bring in some source material with it, right? So, the death penalty, for instance, right? Like, you are opposed to death penalty. It may be because on religious grounds, right? But then you can also look and say, but it's not effective. It's not very it's very costly. It's cruel and unusual, and it goes against the Constitution. So if you can look at it in those kinds of objective ways, then I think it's okay. We'll probably just leave that religious part out because our paper is so small anyway. We're going to focus on those objective pieces. So those are just some basic guardrails. Again, Ms. McGuire and I will help you kind of make sure that you get a topic that is something that you can do, and that will be something that you can do successfully. Like I said in class, the range of topics can be big down to something rather close to home. Okay. You can be all the way out into, climate change or pollution or trash in the oceans, things that are very big, broad, global issues, things that are maybe a little bit more national. If you talk about voter rights, if you talk about states' rights, if you talk about the obesity crisis in America, and you can even bring it down to something a lot more, I don't want to say personal necessarily, but something that really comes down to a very kind of individual level, right? Apple versus Samsung. Which one is better, or Chrysler is better than Ford, whatever it might be, right? You can even get into things that are a little bit more maybe localized, right? Rights needs to get rid of the dress code. If you want to do something like that, it's perfectly okay, as long as we can find the appropriate sources for that. So what we're going to do today on Wednesday the 5th is we're going to start by gathering up a lot of these ideas. We're going to start brainstorming as many of these ideas as we can, right? And then before we leave, I'm going to have you fill out this form. Now, those of you that aren't here today, if you would fill this out, this will give us an idea of where you are thinking about. We want you to capture your 3 favorite topics, the ones that you feel the most passionate about, the ones you feel most comfortable with, and the ones you're most interested in pursuing. The form, very basic, first name, last name, you pick your block, and then it says topic number 1, number 2, and number 3. Each of those should be separate, okay? So let's try not to why Samsung is better than Apple, and then why Apple is better than Google Pixel phones, and why having a cell phone is better than not having a cell phone. They should be separate topics, right? So it should be something more along the lines of, it looks like, global warming. And then the next one is pollution. And then the next one is rights to get rid of the dress code. They need to be their own separate topics, not just variations of the one. When you get done and you hit submit, you will get a copy of this in your email. Okay. You will get a copy of this. This will allow you to kind of see your choices, and that'll help that'll help you kind of keep on track for the next step, and where we start to really kind of explore these topics and what they are. So again, you have a lot of latitude, seniors. I hope that you find something that is something that you are engaged with and that you want to explore. And we will help you find some of those topics if you're not really sure of how to approach this. Good luck. Make sure that you're reaching out to us if you have any questions. And I am looking forward to see what kind of things that you guys write.